Hi guys, something told me to do this video. Um, I'm doing a lot of live stuff, but I'm just going with the flow. Um, I, I'm a truth seeker at heart, and truth doesn't get impressed upon me by making decisions for me or making assumptions that I'm supposed to blindly follow. And I think a lot of institutions in society, if not all of them, but at least a lot of them, make decisions for a person and make assumptions that a person isn't supposed to think about. And I don't trust that. There's so many of them in society, maybe even outside of society. I don't know because I've never been outside of society, lol. But one of them is, I'll start with religion. It's assumed that we're supposed to not want to go to hell or be afraid of going to hell, but I don't like that being assumed for me. How do I know heaven is better than hell? How do I know how, where do I get to make a choice where I want to go? Do I want to go to heaven or hell? But if the choice is made for me, first of all, I'm smart enough to pick up on that, and second of all, I don't trust it. Um, I mean, I might want to go to heaven, but don't make that decision for me, institution. LOL. I mean, let me decide if I want to go to heaven or hell. Don't just make that decision for me and then pressure me or threaten me or push me or scare me into falling in line with that assumption because who's to say I want to go to heaven? Um, who's to say anybody's going to care if I'm not in heaven? I don't have any blood family anyway. There's nobody really is going to miss me if I'm in hell. I don't think, but whatever. That's one of them. Uh, Another one is just our general. Uh, um, Let me think about this. What society says we should believe. I mean, I don't know if that's a particular institution, but it is society. Uh, I'm supposed to. Uh, what's a good one there? Uh, I'm supposed to believe in certain things, or for no reason other than I'm supposed to believe in them, like marriage. Uh, I'm supposed to believe that even if I'm not religious, that somehow I'm supposed to get married to justify having sex, or I'm supposed to get married to one person so that I only can have sex with one person. And I think that's a blind assumption. Um, what is marriage other than a contract of how you spend your money and on whom? Well, I should be free to spend my money on whom I want. I shouldn't have to be tied to a piece of paper that says I have to spend all my money on my wife. Because what if I don't want to do that? Um, and then there's like what's another one? Society, like there's also things in society that I don't like, that where we're not told information and we're not encouraged to ask. Like, for instance, who really owns all the money? I mean, somebody's got to be, behind the issuing of money to buy things. Somebody's got to be the guy that owns the money. But we're not supposed to look for that person or group, and we're not supposed to think about it or care. Or just supposed to blindly assume that money is a good thing. We need it to survive, and it makes the world go round. And so we just supposed to fall in line and just assume, accept that money's what we should do to buy things, and that we even want things, but whatever. Um, uh, I think it's like either the Committee 300 own the money, or another version of it is there's 13 families that own everything in this world, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and of such. Either version is basically the same idea, just different details. Somebody owns all the money, but we're blindly serving this person or people by saying, yes, I agree, I will work for this money and I will lay down this money to for anything I want. Well, that's very, very much an assumption that I don't like put on me. And another one, let me think of another one. This may seem outlandish, but what about the assumption? Well, okay, what about this? What about the fact that we're allowed to vote, as if we're supposed to think we have a choice, but what if we don't like either candidate? Then tough luck. they give us the candidates we can vote on. So really, they've made the choice for us in many ways. We get to decide which one of their choices we are going to abide by. I don't like that. If I'm really a free American, I should be able to vote for what I want, not just for the couple of choices they give me based on they don't really care what I vote because both of those are what they want. I mean, who? What if there's no real difference in Democrat versus Republican? What if they all are pulled by the same strings and we're just deceived into thinking, well, I like this guy, I like that guy. What if they're both on the same team ultimately? And what if neither of those teams are on our side? And yet I'm not supposed to think about that or even voice it or question it. And I just don't. I'm a truth seeker and I'm intelligent and I don't really fall for a lot of these things. And there's a few others I could think of. Let me just throw some out. There's the assumption that, well, I think I think I think that it's here's a deep one, but people are gonna think I'm nuts. But whatever, maybe they already do. Who cares? Um, what about the assumption that I'm not saying that this is bad, but how come we're never told exactly why humans are supposed to wear clothes? How come we're never told that? It's just assumed to us from the cradle that humans wear clothes. Why? Why? I don't know. I was told growing up is to keep me warm, but what if I'm really already hot? And if I don't want to be warm or don't need to be warm? So that's already a lie. And plus, it's not a reason. It's not also not addressing the real. It's not, doesn't answer the question. It's a lie that's supposed to make me either accept it or just not question any further. Well, I'm sorry. Um, um, yeah, there's a few of those. I mean, there's also, um, I'm, well, uh, I'm a fan of education. I think education is a great thing. I think we all need it, but we're never told why we're supposed to go to school. We just are. It's just expected of us to assume that I'm supposed to go to school, and not only that, I will go to school. I love school. I mean, it keeps my mind active, and it gives me things to think about. But what if that weren't my choice? I'd have to go to school anyway. The great David Icke said, "If school's not a prison, if school is not a prison, prove it by leaving and seeing what happens to you." It's basically prison for children, only they don't want us to realize it's prison, so they give us some freedoms. But really, if you don't go, you're in trouble. That's a definition of prison in just a different context and different particulars. So, so we're all born in needing to wear clothes in prison, having to earn money that we're supposed to assume is right, and then it's also assumed that we're afraid of hell. We don't want to go there. And we have to do this and this and this to go to heaven if we because we don't want to go to hell. There's a lot of assumptions in there, and when people make assumptions for me, um, I not only don't trust them, I tend to think that following those assumptions is not good for me, and maybe that some of those decisions implied by those assumptions are not what I really want to decide or even should decide. So love you guys, peace, rock and roll.